So as the clock ticks and the hours go by, campaigners are afraid the president's promise to have the right information bill laid before Parliament rises today may not materialize. Well, the RTI Action Campaign, which began a countdown to mount pressure on the president to honor his Independence Day pledge, is not giving up on the last day of sitting in Parliament. Let's get to Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, who will be engaged in the coalition, by the way. But Joseph, I'm back to you now. The RTI, what's the fate of the RTI between now and when Parliament finally rises?
Here, the document was laid on the floor earlier in the morning. They went through the first reading process, the presentation and the first reading. What that means is that the document has been brought to the House. The Speaker of Parliament referred it to two committees, the Constitution and Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament and also the Communications Committee. So it's supposed to be a joint work by the two committees, and then when they are done, they will bring back a report recommending amendments and possibly recommending approval of the bill, and then the House will take a decision on that. That is obviously going to happen after the House returns from its break, so getting that approval done cannot be today. Any work having to do with the right to information bill today is done and dusted, and so the next time you hear anything will be when MPs return from their break in about 2 months' time. But just when the document was brought to Parliament, there was a concern that was raised by the minority leader, Harry Idrisu. He quoted portions of the Constitution to say that the law is emphatic that before any legislation can come to Parliament for approval, it should have been gazetted. It should have been taken to the Ghana Publishing Company, and it should have been put out as a public document over a period of 14 days. It's only after that it can come to Parliament. And so there was a breach of procedure. He wasn't blocking the process when it comes to it being laid on the floor, but he wanted it to be on record that there was a breach of the Constitution in how it was being done. He got a reaction to that from the majority leader, who said that he was being too quick in drawing that conclusion because Oseitie Mensah-Bonsu again quoted portions of the Constitution to say when a document comes to Parliament, a determination needs to be made by the committee looking at it as to whether it's of urgent nature and needs to pass under a certificate of urgency or otherwise. It's only when the decision is taken that it's not urgent that you can say that 14-day gazetification notification is required. And so the Speaker agreed with the majority leader that that concern by the minority leader did not hold water. And so the laying was allowed to stand and the referral was done. So we look forward to see what the outcome of the work of the committees looking at it would be.
Joseph, what else has been happening in Parliament? A quick summary, very brief summary for us.
So very briefly, you'd recall that the finance minister was in Parliament requesting for approval for 3 different bonds, including the Eurobond to the tune of $1.5 billion. Well, Parliament gave the approval for that a while ago. There was a concern by the minority that the money is being used to fund infrastructure, education, and health projects which are not captured in the budget. But eventually, the approval was given. And I spoke to the finance minister a while ago. He says this would go a long way to help strengthen the fundamentals of Ghana's macroeconomy going forward.
Joseph, thank you so much. We'll be coming to you if the Parliament starts sitting again and we're still here on the pause. But otherwise, we'll bring our viewers some more on that. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo is our parliamentary correspondent coming to us live from Parliament House, where quite a lot has been happening today. So about RTI, Samson Ladi Ainen is a member of the RTI coalition. He joins me via Skype. Let's find out from him. They actually went on a countdown campaign of sorts. Today is a very final day. Hello, Samson. Hello, Samson. If you can hear me, it's just a few. Actually, the last day, we're in the middle of the last day, and I'm wondering, for now, we know that the bill is in Parliament, but nothing really can be said of a progress if we're looking for a progress report. Anger, disappointment, or just 14 days after Parliament begins sitting after the recess is well okay.
Well, the RTI campaign group when we launched the countdown last week, Wednesday, we had indicated clearly that we had the view that the president may not have been realistic when on the 6th of March, he promised that he would not only take the bill to Parliament, but he would ensure that the bill is passed. So when we met, we said we will be considerate, we'll be reasonable. And so if you have followed what the RTI Action Campaign Group has done, we have only demanded that the bill be laid in Parliament and not expect that it will be passed before they rise. So what we ask is what exactly has been done. We ask that at the minimum, the bill should be laid.
That gives you, that must give you and the coalition a great deal of satisfaction then.
Not really, because we have been here before. Don't forget that this will be the third time that the bill is making its way back into Parliament for the processes to start all over again. When the bill was tabled in Parliament as the RTI bill 2010, we know that the 5th Parliament failed to pass it after having gone around the country and done consultations. We know that the 6th Parliament, after having gone through the motions all over again and all the introduction of the amendments that were put in there, still could not pass it, even upon promises by, leaders, including the presidency and even the Speaker of Parliament, Dua Jahoden. So we are cautiously optimistic.
Optimistic, right.
We will watch and follow, and we hope that when they resume, we can expect some quality debates and that the process will not be rushed, but there will be a commitment to ensure that this time round, Parliament does not fail again, and the public is not saddled with, this cost. Because anytime we fail to pass it, the process has to be gone through all over again. And that is at the expense of the public.
Will you go on another countdown session? For my final question, are you going to go, is the coalition going to go on another countdown session, or do we, wait to let Parliament come back and hope or trust that they will do what they're supposed to do with the bill? No,
the RTI Action Campaign Group is made of very reasonable persons, intelligent people, people from the CDD, the Ghana Integrity Initiative, Media Foundation for West Africa, the Ghana Journalists Association, the TUC, Multimedia, and all the other media houses that are in the RTI Action Campaign Group and the coalition are very reasonable people. We don't expect to begin to count down on Parliament also. In May, when they return, we will police the process. The truth is that we have always policed the process, except that in the end, it doesn't get passed. And that's been the sad aspect. We are hoping that this time, the president said that the long hesitation in passing the bill into law is what he is ending. We are going to, keep watching that the president's words will be fulfilled.
Hopefully it will be fulfilled. And if it doesn't, we'll certainly be here to remind him, just in case he's forgotten. Samson, thank you so much.
It shouldn't happen.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Given the background you've given me right now and the history that we have, we hope not. Samson Ladi.
22 years, no bill has gone through such a process. 22 years, about 3 different reviews as a bill. And then now we're talking about 3 different reviews as a bill inside Parliament. That's enough.
Okay. Samson, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Samson Ladi, he says the name is Anyenini, is a private legal practitioner. He's a member of the RTI coalition there.